doing it. I'm doing it. I'm doing it. All right. Let's see. Because I don't have permission to use this, let's stop that. And we'll come back over here. So I'm doing a dual stream right now. This is a test. And what I want to talk about today is typing seed. This is something I learned about in college. So there's lots of ways to classify things, and it helps us to understand what we're talking about when we're talking about them, right? So ideally, like we're talking about cannabis primarily here, but this works for vegetables, or like I studied forestry primarily because cannabis wasn't legal when I went to college. And so like, let's say we're going to go breed a tree, okay? And we're starting from scratch. I want an ornamental pine tree that's consistent with the locality I'm living in. And so I walk out and I look at trees and I find a specimen I like. Okay, so the wind's blowing pollen into that tree. It's going to have a seed pod in it, right? And it's going to have a parent that I know what it is and a parent I don't know what it is specifically, right? And if I just picked a pine cone up off the ground, what would I have? It would be unknown parents on both sides, right? So we've got I got a wild pine cone with no known parents. I've got now a pine cone with known parent, one parent, right? So that's two types of seed. And then if I have if I'm able to collect pollen and then inseminate the pine tree that I selected, both of those are going to have both known parents, and that gives us three different types of seed, right? We have both known parents as a type 1 seed, all right? And then one known parent is a type 2 seed. And if we have both parents are unknown, that would be a type 3 seed, okay? So ultimately, we want to utilize these different typings to get all type 1 seed to offer to people or utilize for our own purposes, all right? And produce our offspring for nursery or commercial stock. Okay, so again, it's type 1 is both your parents. Type 2 is one parent and your one parent is unknown. And the type 3 is both parents unknown. So if we're going to talk about cannabis like this, so and where it's pertinent today, people reviving old seed stock, all right? So somebody finds a bag of seed hidden in uncle's shoebox after he passes away, and we have great blessings to have this. We now have science technology that can help revive this kind of stuff. And so this is where this type 3 seed would be designated, right? If you get somebody, for instance, I get seed from people who give me bag seed when they're traveling around the world, and it's classified. I don't know exactly what this is. I don't know exactly the parents, right? It's classified kind of as a land race. That's a type 3 seed. I haven't seen either of those parents. I'm not exactly sure what their parents are. It could have been anything, and until I've grown it out, I'm not going to be able to have any clue for identifying it, right? At which place, if you're growing it and you have a little pollen dust comes through from wherever and you don't know, and you're growing a parent and you get a bag seed, right? You have an unknown pollen donor and your mother plant, that's your type 2 seed, right? These aren't necessarily things that we're going to be pursuing and breeding unless you have enough space to do it, or perhaps you're in a place where you don't have access to a whole bunch of prime breeding projects. Also, some people don't like using other people's work. It can be considered more prestigious to ground source your own seed and breed a proper breed from it. It's a lot more work. It's a lot harder. I've been called a pollen chucker for doing it. I've been chucking pollen for 35 years. So it could also be a master pollen chucker, I guess. Anyhow, so we have this the type 3 and type 2 seed in cannabis are these things that were unknown. They're bag seed or they're gifted to us. And then the type 1 seed should be the stuff that we're buying in sealed packs, right? And we can utilize as breeders. We can be looking at even if you're just at a home. I call myself a pollen checker all the time. That's being humble. Someone else calls me that. It's being an insult, right? But so we're at home checking pollen. That's something we might want to look at, right? We all know that some of the best stuff on the market today came from a type 2 or 3 bag seed. right? Somebody, the dog series that comes from the Grateful Dead parking lot, for instance, right? We all know that stuff from hermaphrodites, even as a breeder, that's one of the things I do intentionally when I'm testing all these type seeds, even my type 1 seed, I'm putting it through severe stress testing, right? And occasionally you miss a little pollen or whatever. These things can be destroyed. You can feed them to the chickens, or you can save them for later when there's a possibility of opening them up and see what happens. I hear people discussing, and it's like sometimes that's some of the best product you're ever going to get. I know in my experiences over 35 years, I have a really hard time separating out a little bit of hermaphrodization, just very minor single flowers that they usually don't even produce pollen, but those tend to be the plants that have like just the most stellar effects with one hit medicinal purposes. So people shouldn't really discount these things or have a higher horse ride. And it's a matter of different people are doing different things, and you're looking, different people might not have the opportunity because they have a commercial operation going on and they have to meet their numbers. So they can't open up that type 2 and type 3 seed. Some of that type 3 seed needs a laboratory. It's old, right? So but this is a totally different set of typing that we can utilize again to communicate. And that's pretty much kind of what I want to talk. I've done this with grass seed, wild grass seed, right? I've done this with I collect different kinds of wildflowers and stuff, right? So collecting that seed, it applies to different things. And I've been trying to figure out where I found this from. And I can't remember if it was one of the old, actually cannabis breeder books, or if it came from my forestry studies. But this is all stuff I've run huge forestry greenhouse and operated planting out 250,000 sprouts and cuttings for forestry projects and stuff with huge crews of 75 people and things. So it's all it's not like I just make this stuff up. It's the program I've been utilizing, but it's been pointed out to me that no one else is using this, and so I figured I'd go ahead and I wanted to test I'm actually doing this simulcast here on my own personal page and the Future Cannabis Project too, and hopefully the YouTube doesn't have a problem with that, and we'll just keep rolling this kind of gosh, I guess it's not early morning everywhere in the world. I didn't think I'd have anyone join in, and thanks for everyone for saying hi and stopping in to see what I have to say. It was really just wanted to be a short one, and I'm looking at the chat there. Has anyone got any questions for me before I let this down? Let's see. I got 2 chats I gotta pay attention to there, but let's see. Oh boy, I don't really see anything there. So yeah, right on. I just wanted to slip in this morning before there was anything on and do this test on both channels at the same time. And morning, Sausage. The Breath of Purple Dragon by Cherry Kush. Yeah, I wish I had more of that seed. That Breath of Purple Dragon was really hard to reverse. Everything coming out of those that Pakistani Chichel Kush and the Zakistani, that stuff is all. I'm sorry, the Zakistan. That stuff's all really hard for me to get pollen out of the males. Or have a hard time with pollen, and the reverse. Yeah, Delta 9. I was trying to remember. I had to get that from forestry school. And I'll touch on that again. I'm going to answer the Cherry Kush and Purple Dragon. That Purple Dragon, I had a hardest time getting any pollen out of in the reversal, so there wasn't very many of them. But that is exactly what it says. It's the precursor to cherry cookies, that Cherry Kush, and Purple Dragon is the Zakistani Kush back crossed or crossed to the Dr. Dre Malcure. And so it's kind of an OG land race back cross thing, and to that purple. Yeah, people are loving it though. So that the 3 types, I really again was trying to figure it out where that came from, and going back in even to like where Burbank got his first potato seed from, and he started his entire career. That was somebody gave him seed out of a random potato plant, right? He saw the plant growing, or the guy got it from, and so I think this is like really old school stuff. Again, I don't see it being used anywhere. It was pointed out to me, and you don't got to use it. It's just something that you can utilize to separate things. Like if you, a lot of people call it mystery seed, right? You'll see a lot of breeders packaging up a package of mystery seed. Yeah. No, so strong style organics is talking about trying to breed those old seeds, and you really need to get a seed saver kit. And I think they even fall short. I think there needs to be some of the enzymes and hormones. And I am not a pro on the tissue culture, but I think that should be doing in a sterile lab under a hood with sterilized tissue cultures. Um, oh, I got two things here. That's right. Yeah, so I've gotten, it's a lot of work utilizing all the different sterilization techniques and trying to feed them like coconut water. There's different things you can get all the enzymes on the aloe works. You can use banana peel for ethylene to try and kick them up. You can use GA3, and all these things are going to do different things if you're trying to stimulate those ancient seeds, right? Having a temperature control, having sterilized agar to pop them in, and then, like I said, I like to have those hormones and stuff for the tissue culture. I think would be the real way to make it happen. Bean water is another good one too, but again, that one can make things. I think what I like to do is I like to do these feed soaks and then hit them with the sterilant with the H2O2, but I've just had them where I'll pop out a radical, and they'll just sit there for like 3 weeks with just a radical, and they're just stalled out. All right, and that's where it's like, man, I really need these in a laboratory to make it work proper. So let's see. Accept seeds. Right? No, I lose them. I try. I try. I really stopped trying because I don't have a laboratory, and I keep getting that close to having a laboratory, and it doesn't come through. Let's see. Vato's watching. Checking on my home channel here. I got two cameras, two computers going. More than Nick. Man, Nick, I need to talk to you on the phone. If you're not busy today, call me. And I don't see any other questions. Cool. Appreciate you all for dropping in this morning. Everyone have a great Sunday or whatever day it is that you're seeing this. And peace out. Let's see if I can end them both simultaneously.